Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Right now at 10, some Connecticut restaurants are unable to recover nearly 3 years since the pandemic began. We'll hear from some owners who are closing and look at the industry's future in Connecticut.
Plus, a suspicious house fire in one Connecticut city 6 years ago. A little boy killed at the hands of his mother, and today a judge hands down their decision about how much time she'll spend in prison. And while some assistance is available to help with rising heating costs, we'll hear from some in Connecticut telling lawmakers it's just not enough. But first on Fox 61, some restaurants across the state are struggling to stay open tonight, nearly 3 years into the pandemic. Good evening, I'm Ben Goldman. And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Thanks for joining us. So even though COVID-19 restrictions are long gone, several restaurants were never able to recover. Actually, a lot of restaurants. Fox 61's Gabby Molina is looking into the ongoing problems restaurant owners are facing, and she joins us live in Southington, where one popular restaurant is closing after more than a decade. Gabby.
Yeah, Ben and Sarah, unfortunately, already in 2023, several restaurants around the state have announced that they are closing their doors. That includes Zingarella here in Southington. I grew up in Southington. I know the restaurant well, and I know that it's going to be a huge loss for this community, but it is not the only restaurant. Like I mentioned, many of them closing their doors, finding that there have just been way too many hurdles over the last couple of years to be able to stay open. For more than a decade, Zingarella in Southington has welcomed people through its doors. But next month, the doors will close for good.
We've come here for quite a few years, and it's always, I don't know, it's like home.
It's going to be so sad to see them gone.
The lingering effects the pandemic has had on the restaurant industry as a whole has made it difficult to survive.
The inflation, food costs, price of fuel affects delivery and accessibility to our food. I think staffing is the most important and has been the biggest hurdle for every restaurant. So many restaurant workers left before COVID and never returned to the industry.
It's being felt by restaurants around the state.
We're still in a worker shortage as an industry. We're about 22,000 jobs short of where we were in February 2020.
In addition to rising food and fuel costs, it's now getting more expensive for restaurants to keep the workers they do have.
Those restaurants out there like myself that have qualified people, it's costing more to keep them because so many restaurants are desperate for workers.
A growing list of restaurants announcing their closures, a sign of the struggles local businesses are facing. The Half Door in Hartford will mark its last day on the 23rd, and Jay's Crab Shack in Hartford has already closed its doors.
Our restaurants have been reeling for probably the last 4 to 6 months and having to work harder than they ever have to survive.
And some things have never gone back to how they were before the pandemic.
People aren't dining out as much, and it's beginning to show.
So what can we do? How can we respond to this issue? Well, the Connecticut Restaurant Association says that now is a great time to support local businesses in whatever way you can, whether that's takeout or dining in, and also be patient with the restaurants when you visit them. Live in Southington, Gabby Molina, Fox 61 News.
Gosh, good reminders there, right? To support local. All right, thank you, Gabby. We're following breaking news tonight in Meriden, where a mother is sentenced for murdering her 8-year-old son.
That boy was killed in their home nearly 6 years ago. Fox 61's Brent Harden joining us live in the Breaking News Center with the latest on this just horrific case. Brent.
Yeah, you said it, Ben. Good evening, Sarah. New Haven State's attorney says Karen Zielkowski has been sentenced to 40 years in prison now for murdering her son Elijah more than 6 years ago. According to evidence in her trial, investigators say Zielkowski strangled Elijah in their home on November 14th of 2016. She then intentionally set 2 fires in the home. Elijah died at the scene. Zielkowski was convicted in November of murder and second-degree arson. In a statement, State's Attorney John Doyle Jr. says while nothing can bring Elijah back, he hopes Elijah's family finds some peace knowing the person who killed him has been brought to justice. In the Breaking News Center, I'm Brent Harden. Ben, Sarah, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Brent. Let's check in with meteorologist Ryan Breton for a first look at that forecast after a bit of kind of a mild Tuesday.
Yeah, hi there, Ryan.
Yeah, we're going to keep it up, guys. Another mild day tomorrow. And then we've got a system coming in on Wednesday, or I should say Thursday, that will be mostly rain, but there may be some wintry mix in the hills. We'll talk about that coming up. Tonight, the radar mostly clear. We've got a couple of showers that are still left over, really small ones moving through Vernon and Manchester, but that's just about it. For the most part, things are drying out there tonight. As we look back to the west, a couple of showers here, so there may be a few more after midnight, but for the most part, the rest of the night will just be mostly cloudy with temperatures dropping down into the 30s in most spots. Could be a town or two in northern Connecticut that gets down into the low 30s, right around freezing. So in the morning, you'll just have to watch the back deck for an icy spot or two. Another mild day tomorrow, temperatures up into the 40s, but here comes that next system. It is on the way for Thursday. For most of us, this will be rain, but some of you in the hills may see a little bit of a wintry mix, and we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little while.
Ryan, thank you. New at 10 tonight, a Torrington man is dead tonight after crashing into a tree in Litchfield. State police say it happened last night in Litchfield on Reeder Road, right near the intersection with Schoolhouse Road. 24-year-old Dominique Ellinger crossed the center line and crashed into a tree. No other vehicles were in the crash. Anyone with information about the crash should call state police.
Also new at 10, police arrest 2 men in the West Farms Mall parking lot. One man had more than 20 warrants out for his arrest. A vehicle connected to several crimes in Massachusetts and Connecticut was spotted in the mall parking lot on Saturday. West Hartford police say Desmond Bonds of Manchester and Rondell Jackson of Middletown were then seen leaving the mall. Bonds was wanted on 21 outstanding warrants. Police say the men had about $1,700 in merchandise believed to be fraudulently purchased and about $1,900 in counterfeit money on them.
Also new at 10, Route 44 in Norfolk was closed for several hours today after a crash took down a utility pole. Troopers say they first heard about a vehicle rollover just before 2:30 this afternoon. Route 44 was shut down between Rock Hall and Tim O'Connor's roads. No word tonight about any injuries regarding the crash.
Well, tonight, police arrest a man from Hartford accused of kidnapping a person in Springfield, Massachusetts. Police received a report for an active kidnapping with the driver heading south on I-91. Police spotted the car around exit 36 and found the victim in the car. Police arrested Willie Campbell, and he's being held on a $100,000 bond.
We do have an update tonight as state police arrest a man in connection with the Fayette Masonic Lodge fire in Ellington. Police say 23-year-old Gino DeGrandis was spotted on camera starting the fire earlier this month. DeGrandis was arrested Friday. He's now facing several charges.
New Haven police are investigating a shooting that left a teen injured. Police say it happened yesterday, just after 4 p.m. at the intersection of Thompson and Dixwell. Police found an 18-year-old who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital. He is expected to survive. Anyone with information about the shooting should contact police.
More than a dozen families are without a home tonight after a fire in Norwich. Firefighters responded to the lofts at Punama Mills overnight. When crews arrived, they heard someone calling for help and firefighters rescued them. That person was taken to the hospital, is expected to survive their injuries as well. The Red Cross is now helping out 14 families, including 4 children who were also impacted by the fire.
Well, new at 10, a fight breaks out at the end of a basketball game between Middletown and Weaver High Schools. A spokesperson for Middletown Public Schools says after tonight's boys varsity game, some of the players engaged in what's being called unsportsmanlike conduct. And then a fight broke out between students and adult fans. One staff member suffered minor injuries, we're told. Now, Middletown police are reviewing video to figure out how the fight started and if any arrests will be made. Middletown superintendent is reportedly activating the school's crisis team tomorrow, and more police will be on campus as well.
The EPA visited Hartford today as people in the capital city are worried about flooding and sewer backups in their neighborhood. EPA leaders were at the American Legion hearing from residents and business owners. City Council member TJ Clark lives in the Blue Hills neighborhood and said that flooding there has been going on for decades.
A lot of people think that Hartford receives too much money. But to my estimation, Hartford doesn't receive enough money because we do shoulder the burden of a lot of regional issues.
Representatives from the city's water company, MDC, were also at that meeting. Mayor Luke Bronin couldn't make it because he was away from the city today, but did tell Fox 61 in a statement that the state's stormwater system is outdated and so-called 100-year storms now happen almost every year.
Well, a discussion impacting families across the state. People say they're struggling with higher energy prices, even with assistance programs in place. Well, today, a roundtable discussion so families could meet face to face with leaders. Hard to pay energy bills are only made worse with rising energy rates in the new year, they're saying. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says energy bills are 2/3 higher than last year, and experts say those costs could keep rising. Well, there are state and federal programs that can help. Many say it's not enough, and they want lawmakers to do something.
Everything is just so expensive, and I feel that we really need to realize, remember that we're humans and our basic needs need to be met.
People are struggling. The challenges, the financial challenges in their lives can be overwhelming. And both at the federal and the state level and the local level, we have an obligation to help people meet those challenges.
Democratic Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, you saw there, says leaders need to look at why benefit levels haven't changed as prices rise. Meanwhile, Connecticut Republicans released a plan this afternoon that they claim will lower energy bills for everyone. If your family's struggling to pay energy bills, you can download the free Fox 61 News app or head to our website, fox61.com, for more resources and programs out there that can help. Meanwhile, Eversource is warning you to watch out for scammers in the new year. They say there's been a rise in callers claiming that you overpaid on your utility bill, and the scammers then request your personal bank information so they can issue a refund, so they say. The number is even spoofed to look like an Eversource number. As a reminder, Eversource says never give personal information over the phone, and when in doubt, you should contact Eversource directly to confirm if a message is real or not.